Hello, everybody. Come on in the den. It is your baby boomer, Kitty Lane from the Peninsula in Virginia, back with another Create and Relate. I am so happy to be here today. Yes, I am. Y'all remember that statement. But yes, I'm excited to be in the den with you all today, as I have a few things, of course, that I'd like to talk to you about. The last I checked my numbers, which was yesterday, um, we're still sitting at a comfortable 436. As no, I'm sorry. We were at 438. We were at 438. Hello, BB. How are you? So happy to see you. We were at 438 subscribers. I did not check the viewing hours. And as far as how I feel today, I put myself at a, it's going to sound strange, guys, but I put myself at an 8. I don't hurt physically. My spirit is in turmoil a little bit. Sometimes it generally happens to people around the holidays. Um, this isn't one of those things. It just happens to be around the holiday that this is happening to me. I don't even have room for the sadness that I generally feel around the holidays because, some of you know that I lost my mother on Father's Day of 2019, and that is still very fresh to me. My mother and I were very close. Um, our relationship at one point in my life was very strained. So to rebuild that bond and to secure it and hold on to it and to have her take her last breath while holding my hand um, was very impactful for me. And holidays aren't the same without her. We do a lot of memory sharing, but this would be the year that we could possibly get together and have even less tears. But something has happened to me along the way. Before we get into it, I would like to share with you what my tips are for today. I just dropped something. Mm. Okay, I don't know what it was, but I am sipping on Folgers Black Silk Coffee. I have approximately, I think I had 18 ounces and not 20 ounces. I got the last of the creamer, so I'm not sure how much creamer I have, but I do know that I elected to go with cold coffee today. So I do have my ice in here with it. It's very cold and it's very good. I am also working on my second bottle of water. I had a very substantial breakfast this morning. I had meals delivered 3 times last month, and there were 14 meals in each box. Some of them I've been able to have and have one at one portion and one at another portion of the day. Some of them I can eat it all at one time. Blackberry ginger ale, that sounds so good. Oh my goodness, that sounds good. But today it was a barbecue chicken breast with mixed vegetables and potatoes, red skin potatoes. So I had that for brunch at, yeah, that's like breakfast, lunch, snack. That's what I had. And I believe it is. It sounds good. It sounds really tasty. Okay, so we have the salutation and the sips out of the way. We also have the how I feel. Okay, guys, there is a reason I feel how I feel, and I want to share that with you all. I came into the YouTube community for a very specific purpose. People have been talking to me about posting on YouTube for years. And I my reasoning for not doing it then was because um I didn't know what I was doing. Okay, I will definitely check it out. I didn't know what I was doing, and I didn't want to get out here into a community and feel like I was fumbling my way through. So I did a little bit of research, obviously not enough. And I figured from that and what people were telling me, oh, girl, all you need is your phone and you can make videos and yada, yada, yada. And I listened and I jumped out here. And after being here for a year and a half, I really don't feel like I was prepared. April will be 2 years for me being on YouTube in this capacity. June will be the first time I dropped a video. I joined in April. I dropped my first video in June. There's a lot I don't know. I came for the purpose of being monetized. I know that it's hard work. I'm no stranger to hard work. I don't mind hard work. But when you work so hard that it consumes just about all of your day and you are not sleeping and you're not getting the results that you need, not necessarily the results that you want, but the results that you need, it becomes disheartening. And when you know that sometimes it's as simple as a little tweak here, but you don't understand the components of that tweak, and you've asked for help, you've asked for help, you've asked for help. And the help that you get puts you on that path and so close. And these people were nice enough and generous enough to be there for you in your time of need, but you understand and accept that they have lives too. They have things that they have going on as well. And you don't want to put so much on them. I went to one creator and I asked for help in editing. They sent me to a channel and said, this is how I got started. Now, the problem with that is I'm a baby boomer. I'm at the end of the baby boomer era, which means I'm a late bloomer in every sense of the word. I didn't get my first computer until 1999. I don't understand computer jargon. You know, it wasn't until 2000, I think it was 2004, that I understood that writing in computer language is a series of ones and O's. I hadn't a clue. You know, I didn't know what I did not know. I took the time to learn what I knew, and those things that I latched onto, I they became a part of me, like creating spreadsheets. Now I am a queen when it comes to creating a spreadsheet. You give me a concept, I can give you 5 different spreadsheet choices. And I'm good with that. And I love that about me, but it goes to show that I am capable of learning. Um, I can't say that I learn differently from others because there are others who learn the same way I learn. I'm basically that kind. You tell me, you show me, you let me do it. And then if I have questions, and the two ladies, and I'm going to call them out by name, and I love y'all. I want you to know how much I appreciate you all, Michelle and Lori. They have walked me through so much. I would not have known anything about, I probably would have known, but I wouldn't have known anything to do in Canva if it wasn't for Michelle. I would be so lost. It would just, I had already downloaded it, you know, based on some videos that someone else had sent me to, but I didn't know what to do in there. And Michelle was gracious enough to take the time and walk me through it. There are certain things that um, I've learned, like how to put pictures in videos, that Lori taught me. And it's just that they stopped and they took the time and they told me these things and walked me through these things. And of course, I had to piddle around and play with it until I could get it to where I want it. Now I'm having issues because everything has to be done on my phone. I can no longer use my Chromebook for anything, and it's puzzling me. It's bothering me because, like BB, you said you sent me an email. At one point, if I was able to use my Chromebook, I could pull up the email and see it now, and I wouldn't have to wait until the live is over before I could go to it. Um, there are a lot of things I could go through and break it down, but the big thing for me is my style of crocheting and the fact that if I am going to continue this, I need to be monetized. Why do I need to be monetized? Because my daughter and I have been put into a situation where every penny we collect matters. We have no extras for anything. It's like, and if I were physically able to work, that's what I would be doing. I would not be here. I would be outside of the home working. Um, my daughter is no longer with Amazon through no fault of her own. The company she was with went bankrupt. So all of these people went to work one day, and when their shift was over, they were over. These people have not even gotten their last paychecks. They haven't gotten their last paychecks. They don't have their PTO. They don't have their 401k. Nothing that they have put into, excuse me, nothing that they have put into that company are they getting. And these people have blocked them out of the system electronically. So they can barely communicate with each other. If they didn't already have each other's phone numbers, they wouldn't be communicating with each other. But it's word of mouth and networking that's keeping them involved with each other. And it is horrible. It's horrible and it's terrifying because we haven't seen the worst of winter yet. This apartment complex that we live in, they don't play. And it's scary to know that our December rent has not been completely paid yet. And we are approaching Christmas this week. Um, and no, please don't get me wrong. I'm not asking for donations. That's not what I'm asking for. I don't mind working for what I get. I have overwhelmed myself in joining things, becoming a part of things, and trying to um, make myself interesting enough to get the little part that I need. I need views. I need subscribers. And from there, if I could just get those two things, these are things that are free. I am not asking anybody to go in their wallets and do anything. I'm not. I'm asking, like I said, I'm asking for the basic stuff. If you can just take 30 minutes out of your day, an hour out of your day, watch a few videos, subscribe to the channel, make sure you hit that notification bell with the dimples so that you'll always know when I'm dropping fresh new content. I decided to use this platform to try to teach ASL as I learn ASL. And then going back to the computer issue of it, because I'm doing everything from my phone, I'm having issues uploading the videos from Canva to my phone. I can only get them to YouTube from my phone. They're sitting there in Canva, ready to go. But when I hit that upload button, it'll get to a certain point and it'll stop me. Finally, just before I put this last video out, it said that it would only allow me to put out videos under 30 minutes. Y'all, after I had gone through and edited that video to the point that I couldn't anymore, forgive me, edited that video to the point that I couldn't anymore and did everything I thought I had to do, then I had to go back and speed it up just so I could get everything in under 30 minutes. And it's not my best quality. And that makes me feel bad. And that's what put me in the headspace that I'm in now. There are things that I possibly could have done, different avenues that I possibly could have gone down that I think in almost 2 years I should know by now. Or at least, I don't know. Obviously, I don't know how to ask for what I need. They say closed mouths don't get fed. I've asked, and I don't know computer stuff. I had someone who was supposed to come by last Sunday and help me with this. They never showed up. I had someone else tell me, just send me the videos and I will edit them for you and I will get them out there for you. 2 days after I sent the first two videos, I finally get a message back saying that my videos were unable to send. So I don't know. I don't know if they were blocked from the other end or if I have no idea. So then I had to go through and try to get these videos out myself. I was able to do it. They were shorter videos, but I would love for them to have at least a semi-professional touch to them and not look like I'm struggling so much, because I am. I am. And like I said, what I'm asking is views and subscriptions. I need the viewing hours. I need the subscribers, and if I could just get my foot in the door, then maybe I could reach out to those companies who need to run ads and those types of things. And maybe I could set up like the super chats and the super things and those types of things. To put things into perspective, I am disabled, and I just crossed that threshold of being a real, legal, certified senior citizen. I just turned 62 on December 2nd. And with that, the things that were open for me, because we are where we are as far as the legalities of things now, I'm kind of sitting in the abyss. We were getting food stamps. They cut those by $60. My daughter lost her job at Amazon because this company went bankrupt. You want to know why they went bankrupt? Oh, please let me tell you why they went bankrupt. Because they were renting vans from a company and they refused to keep those vans maintained. And one of their workers got hurt in one of those vans. My daughter would call me many days and tell me, Mom, I have no brakes. Mom, the tires are bald. Mom, the car is pulling so hard to the right, I'm literally driving with the wheel turned to the left. Mom, this, Mom, that. Mom, the steps are broken. Mom, the door won't close. Mom, I can't lock the door. There was something always with the vans that they would not keep up. And one of their employees got hurt and she sued them. And it forced them to go into bankruptcy. A lot of the issues that people think they have with Amazon does not come from Amazon itself. It comes from these subcontracted companies that are not doing their jobs. This is the second subcontracted company my daughter was with. The first one, if I put them on a scale together, y'all, it's really hard because they just got sued also. So whereas this Amazon warehouse had like 10 sub companies, they're relying more now on the flex drivers, which is like an individual like me getting in my car saying, hey, I'll deliver some packages for you, and they give you a few packages and a certain amount of time to deliver them. They're relying on that more than the vans that they can fill up and send these people to certain areas. And it's because these subcontracted companies are not keeping the equipment up. And they're missing, y'all. Both these two subcontracted companies that I just mentioned, I didn't say their names, but both of them would tell all their drivers, you cannot stop to get anything to eat before you deliver your first package. As a matter of fact, not even before you take your lunch break. Just about all their drivers are on medication of some sort, okay, that require you eat, and everybody's not on the same schedule. So if you got to stop and grab, and well, okay, and a lot of them used to walk to work, okay, they walk to work, so their only means of transportation was that van. That's like number one and two right there together. Okay, number three, they would tell them you can't stop and use the restroom unless it's at a place that's on your route or you're taking your lunch break. Do you know how many female drivers they have? Do I need to say anything else about that? Really? And there were, you couldn't protect yourself against, my daughter's been bitten twice by dogs. Okay. They paid nothing for any of the care. It's a hazard of the job. You can't protect yourself against the dogs. When you don't deliver a package because of the dogs, it's a bad mark against you. They take hours away from you for that week. Um, if you get hurt on the job, they rush you back to work, which is the problem that they had with this young lady that sued. Um, she had a broken ankle. The brakes did not work. She got hit from behind and it pushed her into another vehicle. And as a result, she got a broken ankle. She was supposed to be out for 6 weeks. After 2 weeks, they called her back to work. And she got hurt again, getting in and out of the van. So she sued. She should have. I'm sorry. But the things that they ask are horrifying. Oh my God. Yeah, yeah. And it's sad that these people can get away with those types of things. Now back to our situation. With these things happening, it threw us into, and every penny we get has to go towards bills now. Um, I play games on my phone where I can make $1 or two a day. Uh, and usually that'll do things like when the little $80 worth of food stamps run out, that'll give me the money to run over to the store and get bread and bologna, and I know those kids get tired of eating bread and bologna. But I mean, you have to do what you have to do with what you have. And I get that. I get that. My daughter, at one point before everything happened, my girls would get together and give me a stipend as to what I could use to get yarn because of the YouTube channel. And when I would come back and I only spent like 10 or 15% of it, they would be like, why? I'm like, well, we can't do anything in the house without internet. The internet has to be paid. The electric bill went up. We knew that was going up, so we had to pay that. For some reason, they won't come fix this leak in the apartment. They're not doing anything to help us as far as that water bill. So it's steady rising. Then they decided to go up on the washing machine and dryer rental, you know. And then this crazy thing that they got going on out here if you have a vehicle, they want you to pay for parking where it's not stated anywhere in the lease. But what they do is get these people to come out and walk around your car, and any infraction you have, they stick a red ticket on your car and give you 3 days to fix it, or they tow your car. Y'all, I can't make this stuff up. I cannot make this stuff up. So the world, the mindset that it put me in was, what am I doing and why am I doing it? I am a designer. I'm a designer to the core. I love tapestry crochet. That's what I do. That's where I found my niche. That's where I found my love. Not saying that other things don't interest me, because they do. When I designed that, let's see if I can reach it. When I designed this cow, oh my goodness, y'all! Not only was it fun, to me, this is beautiful. This is absolutely beautiful. And I love it. I love the fact that I was able to sit down and do that. I made a shawl for one of the ladies over at Walmart. I made my first hexi cardigan, completed hexi cardigan for another lady over at Walmart. I made hats and scarves for them, and it was fun. I've made a blanket that I still have to get the money together for to send off, because when I first heard about Camp Boggy Creek, and knowing that I have an aunt who lives down in Florida, and I figured even if I couldn't send it, maybe I could go. Well, that has changed, and I haven't been to Florida in 3 years. So that hasn't happened. But the postage and handling is not such that I can do. But Juan put out a challenge for 50 Nana June blessing blankets. And I had so much fun working the first one, that I did one that is still over here. Right here. And ready to go to Camp Boggy Creek. I don't have money to send it. I don't have the money to send it. I know my heart is in the right place. I want to do it. And I make blankets and things, and I give them away. Why don't you sell them? Because I don't live in an area where people are really interested. I can't afford the licensure and stuff to get a business license, so to speak, especially not here in the state of Virginia. No, no, and I'm not married, so I don't have the husband that can help. You know, um, it's just me and my daughter and my grandkids, and I just want to pull my weight, and I want to do things that will help me pull my weight, and I don't want to do things that could potentially help me pull my weight, but are essentially sending me backwards. And where I had to weigh my options, I was like, okay, well, this is the deal. If I give up the internet, then how is it going to affect my grandkids? And that means they have to wait until they get to their aunt's house to do their homework, because everything is done on their Chromebook. Or they'll have to go sit in the rental office and do their homework over there, which means all of us would not be in the comfort of our four walls. We'd have to go over there. Um, I could do without TV, so I would not have access to my YouTube either. That's if we let the internet go. Um, that would cut back on the electric bill. that would, it would do a lot of things. I'd probably sleep more. There are a lot of things, but it's like sacrifice that for that extra $17 to $20 you need a month. You see what I mean? The cusp is so close. It's give up this big chunk because you're this close, that close to just getting by, to not having to shift things around, you know? So I talked to one of my daughters yesterday who gave me absolutely no feedback whatsoever. I said, I'm thinking about giving up YouTube. And I didn't even get an I understand from her. Did I expect it? Yeah, kind of, sort of. I did. Don't know why. So I said it to my other daughter. My other daughter said, no, you will not. This is something that you love. This is something that you thrive for every day. This is your purpose. You will not. Talked it over with the grandkids today, and without fail, they were like, oh, no, you won't. No. You have people that look out for you and depend on you and look for you. And they started mentioning some names. And of those names they mentioned, I got on the phone right away and I called this wonderful woman. And she said, no, no, you won't. And my heart melted. And I said, okay. So the people that you see, and there's some that are not there, down in the description box, are people who have impacted and influenced me along the way. I think Miss Tina is down there from Crochet by the Rose. She was the very first person who told me when I first got started, make playlists. I didn't know what a playlist was. I had no idea. But she told me, create playlists. This is what you do. And from her to the very first big creator in my eyes, in my heart, who said to me, welcome aboard. If you need anything, let me know. And that was Lisa from Happy Hill. And then there was Kiera and Drea, my birthday twin. um and I'm so proud of her up in Philadelphia. Y'all, she hit the ground running. I mean, she took off, and I'm so proud of her. Um, but from all of the ones who have touched me, who have impacted me, Mama Steve, Juan, Michelle, Lori, Sam, BB, my sister Joan, and my Jamaican mommy, uh, Blind Stitches. I wanted to say her real name. Well, I am going to say Marsha. And Lana and Pebbles, everybody who has had any part. I'm not going to run away. I've never been one to run away. So I'm not going to run away. But I did have to get this off my chest. So if you see things appearing differently, it's because I think I need to go back to my passion, which is designing. And to show you what I mean, I showed you the other day this motif that I designed. And I wanted to know how I can make it bigger or how I could connect it. And what I thought to do is make a tutorial, which is that cruddy tutorial that I just put out. And this is the one we did in the tutorial. So this was done with full worsted weight, which measures to about 7 inches across. And you can make as many as you want and connect them. And you can connect as you go, and they look like this. And the only reason I didn't connect this one is because I did it in a tutorial. So I am going to do this back to here and then connect it either over here or down here. Haven't decided where I'm connecting it, but I am going to connect it to here. And this is also a good way to stash bust. As I finish projects now, I'm picking up the yarn, I'm making one of these motifs, and I'm adding it. Like I said, I also wanted to know how I could make this grow. There is one more very serious thing I want to talk to you guys about, but I had to get back to the crocheting part. This is how it looks when you add to it. And there are so many components here. And to kind of give you thought of my process, I know this looks very busy. The motif in the middle, that was the easy part. To expand from that, or what I was saying, make the spider legs from that, was easier than I thought. It took me a little time to do it, but I did it. And then to go out from there and create these popcorn stitches here. Oh my goodness. I love texture as well. So to do that and then to come out from there, and I love turning circles into squares. I love it, love it, love it. So as I go out, I come into my square, and I even have my little windows here. My I'm gonna have to stick a pinky through because I'm using number 2 yarn. But to make my little windows, I've done that all the way around, and then I'm doing another design element up here. I have I know the name of it, and it's not the double V. Juan has told us the name of this stitch so many times, and it eludes me right now, but that's what I'm doing right here. That's what I've done here. And then I'm just connecting these here so that I can make a base for my fans. I'm going across with my fans from there. I don't exactly know where it's going from there. Uh, what happens in a designer's mind, we do an element and we see how it looks. Right now, the fans look beautiful. So once I get to this row, it might change. I'm not sure. But if it doesn't, then I will continue. Now, if I get the whole round done and the fan just does not work for me, then I'll frog it back and I'll do something else. I may make smaller fans. I may make half fans. Whatever I choose to do, it's a work in progress and it takes time. And whereas I keep committing myself to things like, the Freeform Friday that I was doing for a while with Nova Gnome and the Luck of the Draw, and and as much as I love Taco Tuesday, guys, I'm not giving up the Taco Tuesday. I'm sorry. I'm not doing it. I got to stick with the Taco Tuesday. Only because it gives you something else to do. It takes your mind away from, and also along that process, I've always wanted to make a sweater from the bottom up. And I did the cardigan. I did the Just For Me cardigan. And I wanted to challenge myself with a pullover sweater. So I started making this for my grandson. And I got to the part that scares me the most, which is the sleeves. So we've made pretty much the sleeves. This one's a little more needs to be done on that before we get to the armpit. Of course, the sleeves are longer than the body. And I do have both of the sleeves. So we're going to add that little bit to it. And then my daughter showed me today. She was like, Mom, it's simple. My daughter crochets as well. So she's like, Mom, it's simple. Look. So you already know what you're going to do here. You're going to be tilting it up. So what you're going to need to do is start breaking it down here. And I'm like, yeah, in my mind, that sounds good. I just want to make sure it looks good when I do it. She's like, stop stressing. Just do it. So that is number two of pressing things that we'll have done. I started this hexacardy for me, and I finally got the bottom done. I finally did the ribbing around the bottom. It is complete now. It is all attached and all complete. So Joan doesn't have to fuss at me anymore about that part. I am listening to her, BB. I promise I am. I promise I am. So all I have to do now is the facing and the neckline. Uh, so no, I have not finished the cardi yet. I haven't finished it yet. The Just For Me cardi, that's been done. I wear that every day. I've gotten so many questions. Um, I got an order for one of these cardigans and two of the Just For Me cardigans. They love them. They call them my Joseph coats. So that's what I named it, even though it's the Just For Me cardigan. So yeah, I'm happy with that portion of it. Uh, I know, I know. Yes, she will. Yeah, yes, she will. And I love her for it. I love her for it. When I put out the call and said I needed to be held accountable, she grabbed the reins to that horse and has not let those reins go. And I absolutely love her for it. I do. I did not tell you all my weight. I don't think the last time I went to the doctor, I had actually gained 3 more pounds. So I did break that 320 barrier. I am up to 321. I'm not disappointed because after the fall and everything that I had gone through there and not being able to get up and move around as much as I had, it could have been, that number could have been higher. It could have been a lot worse. I know y'all see me rocking. I already took my fluid pill. Yes. my body is saying, woo, child. But yes, the weight could have been worse than it was, but it's not. It was at 321. I go in again, not this week coming, but next week. And hopefully I will have better results because I feel better. I don't feel as full. There was something I was going to talk to you all about. Um, I think I know. Another reason I have to stop. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Another reason I have to stop overwhelming myself so much. Excuse me. Mm, is because of my seizures. They are happening more frequently. I think the last time I was on live, I had a small one. I have what is called focal seizures. Y'all, I can be mid thought, mid sentence, mid word, mid breath, and it's like I kind of zone out. I had an EMT to tell me one time, when you pass out, you lose your faculties. No, not everybody. It kind of feels like, if I can describe it, I don't always know that it's going to happen, but those times that I do know it's going to happen, this is what it feels like. It's like being in an airtight room with factory sealed doors and having someone's hands over your ears. And then all of a sudden, everything just pulls apart really fast. Your head rings, everything stops. You kind of go into a little head spin. You feel like you're going to urinate on yourself or defecate on yourself. Everything just goes, ugh. And it's like you don't have control for sometimes an instant, and it can last up to minutes. That's what it feels like having these focal seizures. But not but just because you lose all of your faculties does not mean you're gonna soil yourself. So I was really upset with the EMT when what was going on with me was dismissed because that didn't happen. I felt vindicated when the doctor went back and told him, hey, my wife is the same way and she doesn't lose control of her faculties. So not everybody does that. Maybe that's the way it is for you and your sister and your family members, but it doesn't happen like that for everybody. Um, I lose track of words. I lose track of thoughts. I will be in the middle of saying lots of times you'll hear me say, I lost the word, I know the word, and it's there, but the lack of communication between the brain and the vocal cords is missing somewhere. I see the word, I can hear the word in my head, but to get the word out to you all is something so challenging. And there have been times that I have gotten off this live and I have cried because I could not get my words out. And I'm like, I must have sounded so dumb because I couldn't even think of the word forest. There was one time a while ago when I was trying to think of the name of the high school I went to. It was Forest Glen, and I couldn't think of the word forest. I just kept saying woods and green, and I know the name of it because we were a hick high school, We sat back in the boonies and I just could not think of the word. It's not that I couldn't think of it, I could not say the word forest. And it was very frustrating. I think that was the last time I allowed myself to get frustrated on a live. But visibly frustrated. I always get frustrated when it happens, but it was the last time I got visibly frustrated. But I just wanted to let you all know those things about me. You will see more designing coming from me. I think you will probably see more lives and more crochet alongs with me. They won't be very long lives. And as I do get into more videos, I'll pull back on the lives. I will, but it seems to be the only way I can get this out there. So that's where I'm going to do. That's where I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. Guys, I got to run because my bladder's saying, yeah. But I want you guys to always remember, and yes, I'm going to continue with the ASL, the sign language. Yes. But I want you guys to always remember, please be bold, be brave, be beautiful, and behave. Remember, Kitty Lane told you. Remember, Kitty Lane loves you. So until we see each other again on these YouTube streets, peace out, everybody. Yeah.